Good evening. In honor of spooky season, tonight I bring you 2 stories of vengeful ghosts, so get comfortable as we delve into another obscure tales of the strange and supernatural. Number 1. The Green Briar Ghost. Alva Zona Heister Shue was from Green Briar County in West Virginia. In October of 1896, she met blacksmith Erasmus Stribling Trout Shue. Soon after, the couple was married. On January 23, 1897, Zona, as she went by, was found dead in her home. The cause of death was listed as childbirth. She was laid to rest on January 24, 1897, in the local cemetery. It was later that her mother, Mary Jane Heister, claimed Zona's ghost had come to her bedside and told her she had in fact been murdered by her husband Erasmus. Mary Jane went straight to local prosecutor John Alfred Preston. It took several hours, but in the end, Mary Jane convinced him to reopen the case of Zona's death. It was unknown if Preston believed her, but he had enough doubt which prompted him to send deputies to re-interview several people of interest to the case. This included Dr. Knapp. When Preston went to speak to Dr. Knapp, he was told by the doctor that he had not made a complete examination of the body. This prompted the order of exhumation and autopsy of the body. On February 22, 1897, Zona's body was examined in the local one-room schoolhouse. The autopsy took 3 hours. The report was published on March 9, 1897. The findings reported that Zona's neck had been broken and her windpipe mashed. There were also marks of fingers on her neck indicating she had been choked. Zona's neck had been dislocated between the first and second vertebrae. The ligaments were torn and ruptured. The windpipe was crushed at a point in the front of the neck. This new evidence led to Shue's arrest for the murder of his wife Zona. After his arrest, new evidence came to light as it was found that Shue had been married twice before. His first wife had left him accusing him of great cruelty, and his second died under mysterious circumstances less than a year after their marriage. Zona was his third wife. While in jail, Shue began to talk openly about his desire to marry 7 women. He told reporters he was sure he would go free because there was little evidence against him. The trial began on June 22, 1897, with Mary Jane as the star witness. Preston tried to keep his questions to known facts and avoid the issue of Zona's ghost. Mary Jane stuck by her story of Zona's ghost visiting her. Many people in the community believed the story, and since the defense had introduced it, the judge found he was unable to instruct the jury to disregard it. Erasmus Shue was found guilty of murder on July 11, 1897, and sentenced to life in prison. He died on March 13, 1900, in the West Virginia State Penitentiary of an unknown epidemic. He was buried in an unmarked grave in a local cemetery. Number 2. An Eye for an Eye. On March 25, 1909, the Miami Morning News Record published a curious story. It read as follows. Atlanta, Georgia, March 24th. Haunted by the ghost of a man he killed several years ago, Peter Lester died at the police station after refusing food for 9 days. Lester killed Ed Smith but was acquitted. 10 days ago, he appeared at the police station claiming that the ghost of his victim was after him and asking to be locked up. Lester soon became violent, shrieking continually that Ed Smith's ghost was choking him and crying for the police to shoot his assailant. Lester refused to eat, claiming he had to watch the ghost. When he finally died, he cried that the ghost was choking him to death, and he gave every symptom of a man dying from strangulation. So what do you think? Was Mary Jane really visited by her daughter's ghost? Or was she a clever woman who came up with a brilliant story in order to catch her daughter's murderer? Did Ed Smith really come back as a ghost to take revenge on Peter Lester? Or did Lester succumb to starvation and guilt? Leave a comment below and tell us what you think. Next week, I will be sharing part 2 of Vengeful Ghosts, so stay tuned. That concludes this week's Obscure Tales of the Strange and Supernatural. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a new Mysteries and Legends of the High Seas.